Hey everybody, I'm in the biblical town of Smyrna, which is in Turkey. Now, does this town shed any light into the most famous part of the book of Revelation, which is the number 666? Perhaps so. Let me explain. So right behind me you see this portico. There are several of these porticos, and what archaeologists have found is a lot of graffiti. And in fact, we have in this location in Smyrna some of the most amounts of graffiti you can ever find in the Greek language. Now, when it comes to Latin graffiti, that's all the way in Pompeii in Italy, but here in Greek, it is in Smyrna. So, one of the inscriptions or graffitis that was found is one that says something like this: I love a woman whose number is 731. And in fact, there are several of these that are pretty similar. But just think about that for a second. I love a woman whose number is 731. Well, what's going on here? Well, that's just referring to her name. So gematria is the practice where an ancient letter, like alpha for instance, has a numeric value. And all you have to do is just with those 731, you can find the letters that correspond to that. Now that takes us to Revelation chapter 13, and it talks about the mark of the beast, and that is the number 666. Well, what does that mean exactly? Well, according to most scholars, that's referring to Neron Kaiser. So if you add up all of the letters of his name, you get 666. So that's a pretty reasonable assessment. Now think about this. When you add up the numbers for Jesus Christ, you get 888. And that makes perfect sense because remember, 7 is the perfect number. Therefore, 8 is beyond perfect, and 6 is the worst possible number. Now, if you just triple that, then you get 666, which is really what it's trying to say. That's the worst possible thing you can have, in addition to maybe spelling Neron Kaiser's name. So, does 666 exist? No. 666 is not it. It's 666. Again, referring to the numeric equivalent of all of these different letters. So there's really no significance in 666. It's 666 based on this gematria. It was widespread in the ancient world. As you see when you come to Smyrna, you can see for yourself how that worked. It's just something that the everyday person knew about, or I should say, 90% of the people could not read or write, but for those who did, they knew about gematria and they knew what it signified. So you don't have anything to fear about this, 666. It has nothing to do with that. It's just a simple way that worked back at that time period to be able to figure out somebody's name in a more cryptic way. So next time you hear 666, you know that it's 666, which of course is the worst combination, as opposed to 888, which is the best possible combination, and you see that contrast there. Now, if you want to see this for yourself, you of course have to come to Turkey, and you have to come to Smyrna to check it out for yourself. You're not going to regret it, you're going to love it, and you're going to have the Bible come to life in a whole other way.